What I heard today from the governor was more smoke and mirrors to distract from the real problems that are facing the long-term fiscal health of our state. Now, I'm happy to see that the governor is finally talking about tax relief, but I have a question for him. What changed? It was just a year and a half ago that Governor Pritzker was trying to bully the state into passing the largest tax increase in Illinois history and was threatening huge program cuts if it didn't pass. Thankfully, the voters didn't believe him then, and they shouldn't believe him now. Instead, last year, he raised taxes on businesses and tried to cut a tuition program for low-income school children going back on previous bipartisan agreements that he made in 2019. He then placed unnecessary restrictions on our small businesses and has saddled them with the burden of paying back the bulk of the unemployment trust fund, which is daily accruing interest. This budget is nothing more than an election year gimmick that does nothing to address the structural issues that have held Illinois back for decades. Our state revenues are decreasing while there is $2.5 billion in new spending. He hasn't addressed what's caused the state's massive pension liability to continue, and he is proposing a one-time so-called property tax relief without any structural reforms to address the root problem. This is not a long-term solution. Now, I'm in favor of providing relief for taxpayers. That's why I filed HB 5215 last week to freeze the automatic gas tax increase for 2 years. I also filed HB 4834, which will allow communities to take the power back and go to referendum to freeze their property taxes. Let's get together. Let's talk about living within our means. Let's talk about structural spending reforms. Let's talk about efficient and effective government. Let's talk about real reforms that encourage business development and job creation, and real reforms that encourage families to stay. Instead of just borrowing and throwing one-time federal funds at a problem and calling yourself a winner. Despite everything the governor said today, we still have the highest overall tax burden in the country. Don't fall for this election year gimmick.